All right. So, good morning, everybody. And I hope you guys had a great week. And starting the weekend right now, it's another episode of Lazy Saturdayz. And this episode, we're going to talk about something that is very unique, and to me, it's unique to Jamaica specifically. And I'm talking about the hospitality culture in Jamaica. So, when we're talking about hospitality, obviously it has a lot of different elements, but I'm going to talk more about from the touristic side. So you as a tourist, how would you experience coming to Jamaica, the welcoming and the hospitality, and if people are so welcoming and hostile, and if they would give you that atmosphere and energy. So keep watching this live, and you will know everything. All right, guys. So, and if you have, by the way, if you have watched my recent episodes, you can always go back to them or either watch them again on IGTV. But I also have different episodes that are on Jamaica on my YouTube channel, which you can find on my bio link. And that has the link tree and all of the links to all of my sites and stuff like that. So it's going to be my blog site and also my YouTube and other platforms where I post a lot of interesting and knowledge and information about Jamaica from my perspective, obviously. So we're going to start right into the business, to the topic of the day. So when we're talking about Jamaican hospitality, it's actually, the reason why it's so unique to me is because, as I've repeatedly said in several episodes, Jamaicans are very proud of themselves and they love to represent their country, and they love to share whatever, experience or different elements of their culture with other people, especially with tourists. So to me, in any meeting of any local, you would get that energy and that vibe from Jamaicans, that they are always willing to teach you about their culture and show you different, I don't know if it's different words in Patois or different things that, history, memories and stuff like that they have from their past. But people really love to share their culture with others, which is very important, and it shows a lot about, how confident you feel about your own culture and how much you love your own country. And we know that Jamaicans love their country and they're proud of their country, and there is good reasons for that. So when we're talking about hospitality with Jamaicans, to me, for tourists, it starts from the first moment as you arrive to the airport. And obviously, I'm not talking about this. Don't consider the whole COVID right now. I did a whole episode about COVID. That's a different thing. I'm talking more about the authentic experience when you land in Jamaica. So either if you're landing in Kingston Airport or Montego Bay Airport, you would see that as you're coming out of the airport, you would see so many taxi drivers that would try to get your attention just by, calling you in any nicknames or trying to, get your attention by whatever you're wearing or how you look and stuff like that. So people would definitely try to give you that energy of welcome to Jamaica as soon as you land in Jamaica. And not only that, so as soon as you go on a taxi, and honestly, it's every taxi, the taxi driver is not only going to just take you to your destination and that's it. No, when you're coming on a taxi, most of the taxi drivers that I know, especially the ones that are in the tourism field, they will do their best to really give you like a soft landing. They would literally entertain you throughout the whole drive, teach you about whatever you're seeing from around you, teach you about Jamaica Patois and Jamaican Patois and different words and phrases that you can use, and sing songs for you sometimes. So honestly, people are really happy and energetic, and they would show you that as soon as they would meet you. So don't expect any boring drive when you're just sitting around, and no, interact with your driver, and the driver will definitely interact with you first, that's for sure. Obviously, one of the reasons that I am encouraging you guys to do it, because in the end of the day, it's always good to interact with locals anywhere you travel around the world. And obviously, if you have a taxi driver that you feel comfortable with and you interact with them, it's a good thing for you, so you can either use their service later on in your trip, or in your next trip to Jamaica. So it's always good to create these connections with locals. So as I said, yes, so from the first moment that you arrive to Jamaica, you will notice that the hospitality is very special and unique, and people definitely don't want to make you feel left out or, not knowing where you are or not feeling comfortable in where you are. It's very important for Jamaicans to always make you feel good and comfortable around them, around whatever environment they will take you or show you and stuff like that. And they're very aware of what I would say, I would describe it as what would make you feel comfortable. So they won't, I would say they won't do anything next to you to make you feel like an outsider. For example, I haven't gotten into a situation where people have spoken, raw Patois between themselves and just keeping the tourists outside of the business. That's not the case. They would always try to make you understand it, whatever they are saying, understand, the situation. And obviously, you're always welcome to ask, but the bottom line is that people will try their best to make you feel comfortable. And it's not just by giving you the good service, it is also by introducing you to the culture from the first moment that you're coming to Jamaica, which is very important. To me, it's also very interesting. And I think that every tour operator or a taxi driver or a tour guide has their own unique, character. And everybody would bring their own unique perspective to whatever place they're taking you or whatever topic they're talking about. So it's really interesting to hear from different people, different things about their experience as Americans or as tour guides, and obviously to learn more about the culture through their eyes and whatever they're trying to teach you. So so the first thing is definitely the fact that people really want you to make you feel welcome. And even in the airport, I'm not talking more, the immigration are always people that has to be much more uptight and more serious and professional. So obviously, not all of the time they are, going to be that friendly, but that is their job anyway, all over the world. And what do I have to say is the fact that, in the airport, the people who work in the airport, they will be very welcoming, as well as the people wherever guest house you're going to stay. And, the welcoming feeling will be throughout the day, right? So people are very enthusiastic, they're energetic, and they are excited about things. And it's a good thing, and it's a very unique thing as well, because I've been traveling around the world, and not in everywhere that you travel to in the world, people would find, that energetic and unique vibe and energy inside them to show you their own culture. And the fact that people have that connection and such pride in their own culture is a very unique thing that I definitely recommend you guys to experience on your flesh. But anyway, yes, so moving on to a very basic thing that I've seen, and from my experience, I've noticed throughout, living in here in Jamaica. It's something that might seem basic to some people, depending on which country you're coming from, but not to all. It really depends where you're coming from and what is your, habits and the behaviors of your culture that you're coming from. But in Jamaica, local and basic manners are very important, and people use local manners every day, especially in corporate areas, but not only. When you're going into a business or when you're going into, even a store or a restaurant or whatever, people will greet you. Even on the street, people will greet you good morning, especially if you pass by elder people. It's more, elder people always keep the manners and the tradition much more than youngsters. But yeah, people definitely keep the local manners in a very important ways. Like it actually considered rude sometimes if you're going into an area or a business or a place and you're not greeting people either good morning or whatever. So just take that in consideration. And I know that it is different, especially from where I'm coming from, Israel. People are very informal, so here it's a bit different. In some places they would expect you to be a bit more formal and literally have these manners. And also it's a very important thing when educating kids here to maintain and keep that level of manner with kids as well. So kids know that they are not supposed to talk in a certain way to adults, obviously, and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that from childhood is being taught to every child, and it's very important. In history books and in the internet, if you're going to look, they're going to tell you that it's because of Spanish and it's because of English and because their manners, whatever. To my experience, I feel like it's just another way to take another positive thing and put it on, the people that basically made a lot of not that many good things in Jamaica as well. So yeah, in the end of the day, the English and the Spanish did rule Jamaica, and their influence is there until today. Also the manners as well, but obviously manners come from just the behavior between people. So I'm not just saying, it's coming from straight from whatever English or Spanish. Is just a Jamaican thing, and Jamaicans are very well mannered, and they will expect the same from you as well. Just like for an example, I noticed that a lot of tourists feel very comfortable to walk with whatever their bathing suit and go into shops and stuff like that. Not everybody, just bear that in mind, that not everybody would consider it as something that's respectable for whatever environment you're coming into. So it might be, a country where people think, no problem, everything is okay, yeah, but there is still a specific standard of manners that is important for people here, and especially if you're going to certain more corporate areas. So depending on where you are traveling around, but yeah, there is an expectation, and also it's a friendly thing. So Jamaicans would when you go into a gathering of Jamaicans, is like people would definitely expect you, if you know them, to say hi, to be friendly. So it's like literally a local thing, and people definitely feel very comfortable around each other, and they will welcome each other, and they won't make nobody feel left out. So it's part of it in a way to me. Yes, so another thing that I've did discuss in other episodes already is the fact that a lot of the time is because Jamaicans are expressive and might be a little bit more loud than the culture that you're coming from. People sometimes consider it as a bit maybe aggressive or sometimes rude, but it's completely a very wrong interpretation. The reason why is because people are just used to being very expressive and outspoken, energetic, and say and voice their opinion whenever they have whatever to say. And if they're happy, they would show it. If they're sad, they would show it as well. So it's not like there is any barriers. Jamaicans are very straightforward, similar to Israelis, whoever is watching. But yeah, I am very straightforward, and I'm saying it in a way of like, please don't misinterpret whatever situation that you're in, because that is just the way that people communicate. And to me, it just gives you also the option to be more free with yourself and the way that you speak, because nobody is here taking things personal. And obviously, if you would feel comfortable to voice your opinion, people would do the same, and you only get more connections with local, which is best for you, for your experience, and for your trip. So yeah, definitely I would recommend, again, not to interpret people based on however they communicate, and really try to understand that this is a part of the culture. People here are full of life. They are lively, they are energetic, and to me it's more interesting that people that don't talk to each other, or very cold, or saying things only when they feel like or next to certain people. So it's very important to just get inspired by these things, to me. So yeah, another important thing when we're talking about the expressive language of Jamaican. So when something funny is like when Jamaicans are not pleased with something, there is a thing called kiss my teeth, which is it's like a Caribbean/African sound, and that is actually really common in Africa in certain countries, and also in the Caribbean in certain countries. And that just gives you not pleased with whatever the situation is. And you would find the Jamaican use it as a regular thing, but don't take it personal as well. It's just a way of expressing yourself, so don't take it personal. Another thing that people definitely say a lot is like the fact that they use a lot the certain expressions or certain sound, like stuff like that is like shows you like yeah, everything is good. So sometimes what I'm trying to say is sometimes in Jamaica you use certain sounds or you use certain phrases or whatever to just express whatever you're feeling. And it doesn't have to be specific, literally a word. It can be just a sound, and based on the sound and the situation, you can interpret whatever the meaning of that sound means. But obviously, you will understand because it's pretty obvious when you're in certain situations. But it's definitely part of the culture. So when I'm saying outspoken and expressive, that's what I mean as well. It's not just the fact that they are using words to express themselves. Jamaican language and the Patois is a very interesting and full of rhythm language, and everything in the language doesn't have to be straightforward words, because Patois is different from English and in a way, and obviously it's not English, so it would sound a bit different, and the sounds that people would make in in return to whatever is happening, that would be definitely different and more unique than other languages that I've heard before. So it has a different rhythm, different taste, different flavor to the language when you add on different sounds. And it definitely, to some tourists actually, Patois sounds a lot like a song, like a rhythm, like a part of a whole they hear a whole melody when people talk, and I definitely connect to that thing, because I think that a lot of the times Patois, even just how you speak Patois, and that's why to me it's really an automatic and a meant to be connection, music and Patois, because Patois itself sound already like music, so it only makes sense that with music it would sound even more fluent. So that's one of the things. So yeah, definitely the language itself sounds like a song, sound like, a rhythm, and people definitely will have that unique, energetic way to express themselves, and not just a dry, boring way. So yeah, that is also a very unique thing in Jamaica, and I think that Jamaicans overall can represent themselves very good, and so that's one of the things, full of confidence, obviously. It shows. One thing that to me, you would notice as soon as you would arrive to Jamaica, and that's not only if you go to do a local experience or if you go to do an all-exclusive experience, it really doesn't matter. It's almost any local would show you that, because it's something that is so native and into people, is the fact that everybody here have this unique appreciation for life. And it seems like people are always grateful for what they have. And obviously, we all live in a world where some people have, some people don't. So obviously, it exists in any country and here as well. And people that have less or more, it doesn't matter. Everyone have the same amount of appreciation for life. And it's a very unique thing to me, appreciate just every moment in life and cherish every moment in life. It's something that you don't really see in other cultures, and it's not really like important maybe in other cultures. And I feel like here in Jamaica, it's really the fact that people just feel like, you live once and you don't know what is going to happen in your life, and you definitely need to celebrate every moment. You definitely need to make every moment memorable, every moment be an experience, every moment to be present and to be active. And that's something that I really appreciate with Jamaican. And part of their hospitality really connects to that, because they give you that feeling of like, come on, dance. Like, it's not like whoever is watching, make them watch. It's just you to live your life to the fullest. It's on your responsibility to live your life in a way that you would feel like every day you've done something and you've experienced something new, and, just to have more appreciation to life, more appreciation to the simple things that maybe sometimes we just forget about them, or sometimes we don't even notice them because we are so busy in thinking about tomorrow and what's next, instead of just being focusing on the moment and understanding that life is what we're experiencing right now, it's also a process, but it's what we're experiencing right now, and that is very important and a key element for me as a person that is being inspired from Jamaicans by living here, obviously, and it's definitely something that I'm trying to embrace in my life in every moment. So just the fact of being grateful of everything. Obviously, people who listen to Jamaican music would notice that almost in any song, artists will cherish it and sing about it and include it in their song, because it's definitely a part of being Jamaican, is literally to celebrate every moment. And honestly, I don't know anybody that celebrates better than Jamaicans. Really, I mean, like, there is a unique tradition here of overall entertainment, and the fact that, as I said, people are very proud and full of confidence. So their ability to, make you feel enthusiastic, to pull you to that drive that they have, the energetic drive that they have, is very strong. And I feel like, sometimes it is forced, for example, in entertainment, groups in hotels and whatever, but in the honest truth and essence of it, Jamaicans are really born to it. Like, they know how to do it in a very natural way, because they just literally love life and they know how to show it. And when you love life in a very natural and honest way, it attracts people automatically, because obviously it's energy. So yeah, it's an important thing to me to always remember, where you're coming from, and always remember the difference between the cultures, but also to get inspired by the good things and the beautiful thing that I see here in Jamaica. Because to me, I feel like whenever you're too much in the race of life, you're getting to forget how much simple things have so much importance in your life. And it comes to everything, if it's people or experiences or whatever. The good and the bad, everything has a place in your life. And that is part of it, And so just learn how to love your life and cherish your life, every part of it, the good and the bad as well. And take that as an inspiration from Jamaicans as well, the fact that they are able to do it in a way that really is natural, and it's just, thank God I woke up this morning, thank God, So it might sound simple, but it's a bit difficult to implement in life if you're not used to it. So it's definitely something that I recommend people to, think about. And I will try to capture these moments and these things throughout my videos on YouTube and also here, to show you what exactly I mean. Because I know a lot of the time the things that I described here, because I'm not showing you any visuals of whatever I'm talking about, might be a bit confusing, and also because sometimes of the barrier language. So yeah, I definitely will try to include as much as I can from the beauty of this culture in my videos on my YouTube, so you can definitely check that out. It's Why Jamaica on YouTube as well, and I have several videos released. Of course, a lot of content is coming soon, very interesting content, not the regular things that you would find about Jamaica on YouTube. So keep on watching my channel and stay tuned to everything that I do, because honestly, I'm trying to find the best of the best content to put towards you guys, so you can enjoy and learn more about this beautiful culture. All right, guys. So another funny thing, which is really related to hospitality, is the fact that in Jamaica they have a very unique thing where people get nicknames that are based on either their looks or the way a certain situation or any childhood experience that they had in their community and stuff like that. So almost any Jamaican person that you would meet would have a nickname, and most people would use that nickname to call them, instead of using their real name. And it's a very unique thing, because it also relates and touches tourists as well. And why I say that, because, for example, Jamaican love to, for example, if I would walk the street, probably they would either call me white girl or whitey or brownie, and it depends on whoever, yeah? But they would find a way. It's not like they're going to, call me hi or whatever. They would find something in my looks, in my appearance, and based on that, they would give you kind of like a nickname or try to get your attention. And obviously, it's not everybody, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that be ready to get your own nickname. My own it's actually a nickname that I got from Israel, but because I'm a bit stoush, which is a bit I mean, I'm not snob, yeah. The meaning of it is kind of like a snob, but it's not really a snob. It's more of like, I choose who I speak with and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my nickname, for example. It's a Patois word as well, stoush. But yeah, people would definitely give you nicknames. For example, a lot of Rasta, they call them either fireman, which means, the energy of fire and how it relates to the Rastafarians. Madras, people that if you are big, if you are like short, probably they would call you shorty and stuff like that. So it's a very unique and joyful and funny thing. So I'm letting you know that in case that you would get a nickname, take it as a joke, take it as something funny. Nobody has no harmful meaning behind it. So just make sure that you understand it's part of the culture. People here have a whole heap of different, it's like, there are even jokes about it where I think, I don't really remember the joke, but just the fact that Jamaican would know the nickname more than they would know your real name. So just be ready for the fact that, yeah, it's definitely part of the culture. And it's a unique thing, and you can always have fun with it and, enjoy the fact that you got a new name, a new nickname in Jamaica as a tourist or whatever. So honestly, people would just be creative with it, and you can always ask from locals if you feel like you want to get one. What would be the nickname that they would give you? That's interesting. I don't know if you have any experience from Jamaica and you got a nickname here. Let me know in the comments. So yeah, so that's one thing that I definitely find as funny and nice and very entertaining. Another thing that is related to hospitality in a way, and also welcoming of Jamaicans towards foreigners or tourists, is the fact that people, in order for you to understand their language better, they will try to make an effort and they will speak in a much clear English as much as they can. Some people would actually use something called twang, which is basically like really hard English talking, for example, either with American or whatever accents they wish, but they will make it look like they would speak very, very strong English for you to understand them. And if you feel like you want to learn more Patois and you're ready to learn more Patois and the dialect would be in that language and you would learn more, obviously you can tell them, hey, you don't have to twang, So, and then they will say, how do you know twang and whatever, Because twang, obviously, it's also a Patois word. It's when you're trying to turn your tongue, twang, and trying to speak very, very clear English for the person in front of you to understand. Most likely the person in front of you is not Jamaican. So yeah, definitely it's something that people do in a very regular basis, I would say, with tourists coming for example, for hotels and whatever. And it's not a bad thing. In the end of the day, they're just trying to make themselves clear to you so you won't have any misunderstanding. But I know a lot of tourists come to Jamaica expecting to learn more about the culture, expecting to get some phrases in Patois, expecting to get, some of that unique vibe that people here. So if you do want to keep that, just tell them you don't have to speak in English. You can speak in Patois, and just, if I don't understand, I would ask you. But I'm guaranteeing you guys that if people would actually do it, they would love to hear you say, no, I want you to speak in Patois, So because people, as I said, are very proud and they would want you to learn their own dialect and their own language. So definitely it's something that you can feel comfortable on doing, and just feel okay if somebody is really twanging in front of you and speaking in very straight and clear English. It's not because they're trying to mock or anything like that. It's just because they're trying to make themselves clear to you so you won't have any misunderstandings. So just take it like that. Nothing personal. All right, so another topic that I wanted to discuss is the fact that in a lot of places, and I've discussed it in my last episode as well, that Jamaicans welcoming towards women is a bit different, I would say. And the reason why is I truly believe that Jamaicans have this weakness when it comes to females. It's all over the world, yeah, but Jamaicans show it in a very funny, energetic, like full of life and funny way, yeah. So it really depends who, what person you are and how you would take it. But please don't take nothing serious. Like, honestly, don't take nothing serious. The way that people speak here to females is only because they really adore women and they think that women are the prettiest thing. It is the prettiest thing that exists and alive on this earth. So yeah, Jamaican people and men would make you feel beautiful. They would make you feel welcome. They would make you feel, they would give you that attention, even if you don't want it sometimes. So you have to be obviously a boss of your own self, just like in anywhere you would go. If you feel a little bit uncomfortable with whatever people are saying around you, or if somebody's trying to get your attention while you're going anywhere and you don't feel like, you don't have to turn around, you don't have to whatever say anything, but you also don't have to be rude. So just understand that this is a very cultural thing here, and females don't, most of the females that I've discussed with locals don't consider it as a rude thing, because it's literally a cultural thing where men just feel comfortable to compliment women. And I think honestly that's, and don't want to get into deep to that, but that in compared to what I've seen in other countries, it actually is, it's nicer, because you as a female, you feel like acknowledged in a way, and you feel welcomed, and you feel like even if you didn't have the confidence to speak to whoever person is, whatever, for whatever purpose, they already feel like, you know, they are willing to communicate with you. So to me, it's not a bad thing, and it's just a friendly thing. And obviously every person has different intentions, so it's really on you to understand what is the intention of the other person and put that border if you need to or whatever. But in the end of the day, don't take it personal, or don't take it as an harassment or anything insultive, because that's completely not their intention. And their intention is really to just, you know, show up themselves, get your attention, and maybe a conversation will come out of it. But it's not like, you know, people are expecting for you to get married with them, even if they say that, yeah? So just take it as a joke. And again, like overall in Jamaica, people do take things seriously here, but honestly, these things, when people call you in the street or whatever and stuff, don't take it seriously. Like, it's just a part of the culture. Don't get too upset of it if you're not used to it. Don't feel intimidated. Nobody's going to do you nothing. It's just a way people greet each other, and they would do it to any local female as well. I mean, it really just part of the culture. To me, it took me some time to get used to it, but honestly, I feel like as soon as if you know how to put, you know, your line, and you know who to answer and who to ignore and stuff like that, you're really good. Like, you don't need to feel intimidated or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely something that is unique to Jamaican as well. The fact that women would feel much more welcomed here. Obviously men as well, yeah, but women would get that attention wherever they would go. And depending on obviously the surrounding that you're in, but yeah, you would get more attention than men, that's for sure. And take it as a friendly thing, as a joke, as something funny, as an experience. Don't take it too hard. Just like anything in life, don't take it too hard. So as I said, one of the things that, you know, one of the things that Jamaicans are really, like, I would say, all right, I have to think how to phrase it. That's why I'm kind of stumbling. Yeah. So it's a funny thing that I feel like, you know, when you're talking about hospitality, you have to talk about customer service. And I feel like a lot of the people don't have, like, a lot of the tourists that come to Jamaica doesn't have a certain understanding when it comes to customer service. It's different probably from where they're coming from, but all I have to say is that, you know, Jamaica right now, you know, it's very hard because there is almost no tourist traffic in the island. It's getting there, but obviously COVID had a huge influence on whatever we're experiencing right now, and it's really, really bad. But bottom line is that Jamaica is a land of expertise in tourism and being tour guides and tour operators and everything related to tourists, basically. You know, it's been almost 75 years or even more of Jamaica opened, you know, to visitor, to public, and hosting people either on different levels. It can be in all-inclusive hotels, it can be in guest house, camping, whatever way, but people will, they're expert in their own country, and that is why a lot of Jamaicans can, it's almost any Jamaican that you would stop on the street can tell you about the history, can tell you about the story of where they live and stuff like that, as people are well aware of, the significant, important culture that they have, and the fact that people do come from all over the world to experience and learn it. So I definitely think that, a lot of tourists have this misconception when they're coming to Jamaica, and they consider the customer service maybe not fast and like they're used to from other countries, which is, I don't know. I mean, you can judge whatever is good for you, but it's different. It's different in a way that, people are very welcoming. They will give you the best tour experience. They literally will teach you everything that they can and will share with you their culture. But the customer service is different, and in a way that, and what I want to say is obviously is a bit sensitive, the topic, but I don't know if tourists are actually aware of the minimum wage that most of those people who work in the tourism industry get as their salaries. Now, a minimum wage and your salary would always, in any type of job, will affect how good you do your job, unless you are a person that likes to, devote themselves and do anything for whatever amount of money. But in a lot of cases, people consider and, criticize customer service in places where people are not getting paid properly, and that is a huge problem that, to me, this country has. The fact that minimum wage is very, very, very low and doesn't reach even to the cost of living in no way. The cost of living is very high, the minimum wage is very low, and the opportunities here to go above the minimum wage is just for certain people that have certain education or coming from certain areas. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is very hard for people to get more than the minimum wage. And at the end of the day, when you're working in a place where you feel you're supposed to provide service, but you're not getting paid properly for it, and you still find it hard to end the month and stuff like that, it will show in your customer service. I'm not saying it, I'm not generalizing, I'm not saying that everybody is like that. Obviously, everybody is different. Please don't take my word and say she said this about whatever. No, it's not the case. The case is the fact that people, how much effort would you put if you wouldn't get paid properly? And you would be doing customer service work. So in the end of the day, really, it comes to the person that you're going to meet and whatever business you're going to, get your service with and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just like the fact that if people are not getting paid properly, they're not going to provide you the best happiest, big smile customer service ever, because in the end of the day, it's hard to uplift yourself and motivate yourself when you know that you're struggling. So to me, it's just important for tourists when they're coming to Jamaica to understand that everything has a reason. It's not like people choose to be, I don't know what, less slower or stuff like that because they feel like, and also that doesn't really connect to that. It's just the atmosphere, but everything has a meaning, everything has a source, everything has a reason. And if people do act in a way, maybe like show a bit of understanding to the fact that the life here, living here as locals is not easy. For you as a tourist, you come here and you see paradise, you see all of those beautiful things, but the honest bottom truth of Jamaica, most of the people do have a lot of struggles, and it's very hard to change and uplift yourself when you really are struggling to find opportunities to make your life better. So I'm not saying it as an excuse, I'm just saying it as a part of something people definitely have to know, the fact that this is what it is, and people will put their effort when they feel like their effort is being appreciated. And if it's not being appreciated and other people are the people that don't do the hard work are the one who's getting all of what they're supposed to get. So yeah, they will show it in a way. But what I'm trying to say is that people who come here and in a way kind of like criticize the customer service, just bear in mind to understand that most of the people, even the one that you see in hotels, are not getting paid properly to do their job, to my opinion. And minimum wage in Jamaica for jobs like working in fast food and stuff like that is somewhere around 9,000 Jamaican, which is less than, it's about 80 US for a week. You do your own calculation, it doesn't add up to nothing basically, especially not when you have a family to feed. So just be aware of that the struggle and the mental strength that they're putting on themselves every day to come to work and appear and come with a smile and energy and everything, it's something beyond obvious, something beyond something that you should just say, oh yeah, for sure they're supposed to do it. I mean, in other countries, other people would just won't do it, or whatever. But yeah, you have to bear that in mind. And when we're talking about customer service, like tour guides and whatever, I definitely think that you really should appreciate the fact that Jamaicans are experts in their own country. And as I said, tour guides and also even regular local people that are not officially tour guides, but able to explain to you about their culture, about their community, their area, their history, everything. So just bear that in mind and remember that almost anyone can give you a good tour in Jamaica, but obviously I would recommend to just go to certified tour guides that would give you a whole package, probably with transportation and everything, and would make sure that your experience, your hospitality experience would be the best of the best, and that you would get answers for whatever questions you have, and you would literally come out of whatever tour you're doing more wiser. So it's something that I really want to emphasize again and say customer service in Jamaica, depending on where, it can be different in any place, but bottom line, customer service in tourism, people here are literally experts in entertaining you until you reach to your attraction, expert in taking you safely to your attraction, expert in showing you and telling you about the history and just giving you that great vibe, energy, feeling, experience while you're here in Jamaica. So just take that in consideration. It's an industry, tourism in Jamaica is a very important industry. We're seeing it here right now when, with all of the COVID situation. So it's definitely an important thing to remember that people are real experts here. We're not talking about people that don't have that much experience. Jamaica, most of its I would say economic depending on tourism, so it shows you how much people are so invested in that and are aware of their own country and culture and history, and really is able to give you a whole experience and not just something that would won't give you that experience or won't be that strong for you as a tourist to get here when you're traveling. So yeah, when you are here traveling, just remember people have their own knowledge, and every tour guide that you would meet, by the way, obviously is going through training of the Ministry of Tourism. So they have their own organizations like TPDCO and so forth that really make sure that the standard of tour guides are the same and aligned with everybody that's operating any type of tour, and people are aware of their culture. Whatever area or topic they will do a tour about, they will probably would know to tell you about the whole country history. So just remember that as well. So when you're talking about like hospitality in that case, I'm definitely encouraging you guys when you're meeting other, tour guides, or when you're doing a tour or whatever, if you have any question that is not really related to whatever tour that you are doing, most likely the person would be able to answer it in a very knowledgeable way. So remember it and just keep your questions, because there is a lot of things that you would find interesting. I guarantee you that for sure, like even just from driving throughout the island. So keep those questions in mind, ask the people, ask locals, and they would love to share with you, their knowledge and the fact that they really know about their history. And to me, it's a very special thing, because I feel like when you're proud of your country and you're confident, you would definitely want to learn and know more about yourself, your history, and where you're coming from. And I feel like in Jamaica, it's very unique because, I don't know, I feel like in other countries, people do know about their history, but not in that level. Like people here literally know a lot, So yeah, just bear that in mind. If you want to learn more about the culture, feel free to ask tour guides and locals and anyone that you feel, that you would get a good response from. Another thing that, to me, again, it's very important, and it's just important to emphasize it and say it, because I feel like there is a lot of, in a lot of situations, I don't know why, but locals, Jamaicans, people are trying to make them seem as maybe unpleasant people or whatever. That's not the case. The case is the fact that Jamaicans are very kind and nice. And even if you would, God forbid, I don't know, driving, you rent your own car and you're driving out in the countryside and you're lost and the GPS is not working and stuff like that, any spot that you would stop on the way, Jamaicans and local people would help you to try your to find your way to your destination. So Jamaicans are very kind and they will try to assist you in any way that they can, really, you know. And I don't want you to feel intimidated or afraid by no one here, because honestly, it's just communication. You know, when you don't communicate with somebody, it can happen in anywhere in life. When you don't communicate with nobody, you can always have these assumptions about how that person would respond to you. And it's most of the time, it's not logical or realistic or even close to whatever it's really going to be. So I'm just recommending you guys to let go of the judgmental and let go of whatever you pops in your brain automatically because whatever this trigger this and it makes you think that person is like, no, don't think and don't judge. Just get to understand that Jamaican people are very, very kind. They will try to do their best to show you their country, to assist you if you're in help. I mean, really, like, I haven't been in a situation where somebody, you know, just like, no, don't business about that, whatever. People really would try to go out of their way to show you like they would literally take you to places, like literally walk with you to places just to show you the place, which is something that people in other countries won't do because they would say they don't have time, their life is more important, like, you know. So just bear that in mind. People really would go out of their way to show you their own country and to help you if you're in any problem or need or whatever. They will do their best to help you. Another thing that, you know, a lot of probably you would hear a lot of the times when you're in Jamaica is the phrase, "you're good." So it's something that Jamaicans would ask pretty often, especially if you're traveling in groups or if you're going for different attractions, or you're going to a party or whatever. The tour guide would always make sure that you are good, and that's a very important thing, you know. It's very, very important. So just the fact that somebody is accountable for you and somebody cares for your well-being, and if you're having a good time in your tour and if you're okay, or if you need a break for a second, or if you want to drink something or whatever, just the fact that people are attentive to you and are aware that they have a group of people that they have to make sure that everybody is good and pleased with whatever the activity is, that means a lot. It's not just doing a tour in Jamaica. It's not just walking behind a tour guide that holds a sign, and it's not like that. Sorry, it's not like that. It's not like I would compare it to places in Europe, you know, when you have huge group tours and you just walk behind the tour guide that has this sign so everybody would notice him and nobody cares. That's not the case. The case is that people usually also tour here in smaller groups, but the fact that tour guides themselves, they are much more attentive and connecting to the people on a very personal level, and you would see how much they're interested to connect to you. It's not a fake thing. It's not like nobody's telling them to do it. It's just literally their intention, their good intention to just know you, know you as a tourist, know you maybe for a future friendship, whatever. But you know, they're just trying to be nice, friendly, and welcoming. So if people ask you, you're good, or if local people ask you, you're good, if you're like a tour guide asks you if you're good or anything like that, you just tell them, yeah man, all right. So and tell them you're good, you're all right. If you're all right, if you're not good, you tell them whatever, and they will try a way to resolve the situation. But honestly, voice your opinion. If you're not pleased with something, say it. Nobody can understand you if you don't communicate. So the best way in life is to communicate with the person in front of you to have a full understanding on both sides. So just remember that. Now, last thing that I wanted to say, and that is probably the funniest thing that I have to say about when we're talking about welcoming and hospitality, and then I would close today's session. The most welcoming group in Jamaica is, without no doubt, mosquitoes. So it's not only it is a joke, it's a big joke, but it's only also seriously. People, mosquitoes here, they love fresh blood. I'm still suffering from it, like honestly. Just bear that in mind. Mosquitoes are the most welcoming group in Jamaica. They would bite you as soon as you come. So make sure that you have whatever repellent. You can purchase them here in pharmacies and whatever. But just remember that the most welcoming ones are the mosquitoes. And I'm talking about literally mosquitoes that would bite you. So just bear that in mind. And be ready when you come into the island. Obviously, certain areas would have less, and more of the resort have like resorts and all inclusive have less. I don't know how they're doing their treatment and whatever, but yeah, most places you would go in Jamaica, just be ready for that welcoming from the mosquitoes. So guys, I'm thanking you all for joining this live again. It was a great live, and I do hope that you would join next Saturday as well, 11 a.m. Jamaica time, EST. Obviously, whoever haven't visited my YouTube channel, you can go right now straight to my link in the bio. It has my link to my YouTube channel that has new episodes every week about Jamaica, and also a link to my written blog. I have one in English and also in Hebrew if I have any Hebrew speakers here. So yeah, I mean, you're always welcome to write down in the comments if you have anything interesting that you want me to discuss about, or do some research and come back with some ideas and interesting topics. I would definitely love to do that as well, and love to hear from you. What are you interested about when it comes to Jamaica culture? And there is so many different things and elements to talk about, and I'm honestly trying to put all of these sessions on Saturday in a way where I'm talking about Jamaican topics, but I'm not really generalizing, and basically my main aim is not to hurt nobody or not to make anybody feel like I am judging everyone as everyone is like, it's my aim is just to show you guys that Jamaica is much more than what you might see on news, bad news, and much more than what you see in good news. It's a whole experience to come and travel here. It's a beautiful culture and a beautiful country and beautiful people, and I definitely recommend people to travel to Jamaica. And most of the people that have done that, they come in for one time and that's it. They want to come back again, or they want to move here. So honestly, it just speaks by itself. Jamaica is very, very unique, and it has this spiritual element that I still didn't find words to describe, but it really does have something spiritual more than just a regular visiting in any country. And obviously depending on where you go in, but yeah, something that you can experience almost anywhere in Jamaica. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining this live again. I really appreciate the fact that you have watched it. And if you're interested, you can always share that with your friends as well. I would do my best to put much more interesting content in my videos, my lives, and my YouTube channel as well, and my vlog as well. So just keep watching, stay tuned to the things that I'm doing. The content is really out there all of the time, and I really want to try to give you as much as I can from my eyes to show you this beautiful country, island, paradise. So that's it. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Big up everybody watching. So let me big up Renere, Raspek, Aladdin, Pure Chocolate, big up Pure Chocolate, best chocolate. Best chocolate made in Jamaica. Everything Jamaican made. Elite Gift Services, big up Green Gal, Seven Hills. Yeah, big up everybody. Groove Swimmers, link, subscribe to their channel. Cade, Flacco. Nice. So yeah, guys, I hope I made you guys a little bit more aware and smarter when it comes to Jamaican hospitality, and I hope that I made you guys want to come here. This episode, again, I'm broadcasting live from the Falmouth Herb House. Guys, I don't know if you've ever been here. You know what? I'm probably going to do now a short tour here to just show you the store itself and how it looks. So let me do that. You're going to find it in my stories. It's a beautiful store where you can get whatever herbs you're interested, or also extract. Their extracts are so great. And you can also look forward for a lot of content about herb, weed, cannabis, ganja, marijuana, or however you want to call it, very soon on my YouTube channel. Partnership with Kaya as well. So just just keep on watching and keep on being tuned to my stuff. The content is really interesting and it's unique. It's not the regular thing that you've already seen about Jamaica. That's all I'm trying to show you guys. So that's it. Have a great weekend. Love you guys all, and thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the community.